I mean, a good musician to me is definitely how well and how much does he listen to everybody else. It doesn't really matter, mostly at least, how good the musician is technically to me. You can be technically not so advanced, but if you listen a lot and are able to use that musically, that's what makes you a great musician. And that's also what makes a musician fun to play with, if you can hear and feel that the musicians you're playing with are listening to you and can react to what you're playing.
Being an orchestral musician is basically ear training every day, So you have to, you use it constantly, and I think it's very important that you take this seriously when you are a student, because it will really help you.
I have been privileged over the past years to be involved in very, very exciting research that is strongly related with ear training and the perception of pitch, which is, again, a very big part of it. My argument is that you cannot become a musician, you cannot develop musically if you don't train your ears. These things go in tandem.
I had a great teacher when I was just a kid, and she started teaching me both the ear training and the theoretics way before I even knew that I wanted to play cello my whole life. But I think you could get ear training even before you start playing an instrument. It's such an important thing, it's such a basic thing in any music instrument you're playing, so it can help you no matter what you do. So even starting with ear training.
The majority of the musicians I play with, not the majority, all the musicians I play with, all are very aware of the importance of ear training. And generally speaking, the very few musicians I've met and played with that do not see the importance of ear training, they're not that fun to play with, because they don't play with an open ear. They just play what they know physically in their instrument. That's like speaking to, if you speak to somebody they don't listen to, you might as well go, oh. And that's the same thing if you play with a musician that doesn't listen to you and can hear what you're doing. That's like speaking to somebody going like, eh.
I think the musician's opinion about ear training changes during your career. When you're a student, maybe it's a bit boring and something you might not need so much. But then when you start working, you'll find it very important, actually, that you can implement it in lots of phases of your work as a professional.
I think I've realized how important ear training is after I took my exam. And that just means you can keep on working on it.
I quickly found out that ear training was important. And when I found out, I made a conscious effort to practice my ear training capabilities. But as I got a hold of it, what it was, then it became an everyday part of my life. When I transcribe something, that's ear training. When I compose, it's ear training also, because when I compose, for example, I don't have to sit by the piano, because my ear training is now at the point where I can hear, oh, that interval is a sixth, not right a sixth. So it's with me every day, basically.
I am extremely passionate about the fact that a systematic approach to ear training can only make things better. That's what I stand for. I will be very happy to stand corrected at some point. At the moment, I have never come across any piece of research that suggests anything else.
I welcome the new technology, and there's nothing in the world that is static. And in terms of how you learn to get better at ear training, how you do it doesn't matter. It's the goal that is the means. It's the same thing. I mean, we don't write everything on paper anymore. I mean, we might as well write it on the computer. And the old ways of practicing ear training, they're fine. But who says it can't be done more efficiently today with the technology we have today? I mean, we don't ride around on a horse today. We have cars,
I think it would be a very good supplement using tools like digital tools for ear training. I think, the old-fashioned ways with using a piano and also your instruments is, of course, always there, but I think it can be a very good tool for improving the training.
Technology has been a fundamental part of our musical journey since the beginning of humanity. Okay? And I have tried, not necessarily in a very effective way, to demonstrate this statistically, but I'm a very passionate believer that you cannot separate music and humanity and the technological humanity. Unless everything that we do about music involves us being in the nude in the middle of a forest, you have technology there.
It's easier just to open your computer and do just a little bit maybe than to find all your books and papers and sit there and read everything and find a piano and start playing. It's a lot easier if you can just open your computer and get going.
You can train your ears without using technology. That's not what we're discussing. We know that. People used to have good hearing and people used to become good musicians in days where computers didn't exist. That's not what it's all about. What it's all about is that we have new and efficient ways and effective ways of making it happen in a more efficient way. Less time, more focused, so that we can systematically assess what's happening and monitor what's happening. This is a very important thing. And for me, as I said, it's a no-brainer.